Hi, I'm Marcia Lyon. I'm an architecturally trained remodeling designer, and I'm the creative force behind Creating Spaces. This is a weekly column about remodeling design. Each week I show a before and after floor plan that shows clearly the steps to be taken to change a house from normal, average, to something that really fits the lifestyle of people. People want the design and the ideas and an effective way to communicate with contractors. I do all sorts of projects. I do big remodeling projects, small projects. Sometimes I'll do a new house. I will work on a builder plan to tailor it to the homeowner's lifestyle. I do condos, all kinds of additions and non-additions. Sometimes I just deal with the traffic flow and change the interior walls. The way I help people with their remodeling dilemmas is to go to their home and do a consulting. Consulting is an amazing meeting where I come in and see what the situation is, help to clearly define the problems, and then I will create a drawing that is proportionately correct of the existing. Then I use tissue overlay to show them ways of solving the problems. In this particular instance, they had an existing floor plan that was scaled, and I used these tissue overlays, sketching and showing different ways of solving the problems. In the field, this is what they ended up with. It is a clear indication of what is to be done, the scope of the project, and what they will use to communicate with the contractors. I will make the drawing of the before clear and use one color to show the existing. In this particular problem, it was a split foyer house, so all the living was up a few stairs. And the people had to go through this landing and upstairs to utilize the house. They had an issue that the husband's brother was permanently disabled and would visit frequently, so his way into the house is through the garage and up a long ramp and in through the sliding glass doors. That was one of the ingredients and requirements for this remodeling. The biggest issue was that they wanted to create a dedicated space for home schooling. They had one son, and the homeschooling was happening all over the house. It was very disorganized, distracting, so that was their issue. What we did with this plan is build an addition off the back. We only added about 10 feet. You can see where the red is, that's the existing. So this is the amount of addition that we did. But we did profoundly alter the entry. You still would enter on the landing, but we changed the upstairs to the stairs down to the basement and have a new stair up to a main floor foyer. Now, for the brother-in-law that needed direct access, he could come in the garage and we added a wheelchair lift so he can rise up to the main floor foyer, plenty of circulation space, coat closet, and the like. The kitchen moved into the new space and opened up nicely to the backyard, and we created a livable deck and changed the living space to this area and included some of the old existing space. The home school area is what used to be the kitchen and then some. So this is a dedicated space and they can close it off. It has all the needs, and to keep it bright without window distraction, we added a full wall of glass block and 2 skylights to pull in nice, strong, natural light. This worked for them. They will be starting construction in the spring, actually. They're going through the process of getting the bids. I feel wonderful that I can help them express their ideas and put it into a cohesive plan that works. It's practical. We didn't build more than we needed, just what was required to solve the problems. Got some happy homeowners there. I do 2 types of consultings. I do an in-home consulting, and I go to the people's homes and I take a tour and then draw a proportionately correct floor plan of the existing. And then I use that and tissue overlays to show them different ways to solve the problems. I pay close attention to their lifestyle, and most people aren't living the way they want to live when they contact me, and that's why they contact me. And so I try to read into what their hopes and their dreams are for their house and the way that they want to live instead of the way that they are living. I will show different ways of solving the problems because they're very personalized. I get input and feedback, and essentially the homeowners design with me. And we work it up, and then the final floor plan, I make a hand drawing, and I leave them with their own before and after floor plan. Contractors can use these to do the work, and in most cases, these drawings can be used to get the building permits. What is left to the homeowner is really the specification, the time-taking process of finding the products they want and the materials and working with what's locally available and what they like and don't like. So I don't get involved in any of that. I do the conceptual design and leave them with those drawings. And I also do a studio consulting right here in my office. It is for people who want a consulting, but I can't get to them. And so if they have scale drawings of their existing and photos and priority lists, they can send that to me, and I will work with them over the phone and use the magic of computers to show them what I'm drawing while I'm drawing it and do the back and forth electronically. It is every bit as effective and also very rewarding. I started out doing magazine articles for Better Homes and Gardens and many of their other publications. Actually, they were featuring my projects, and at one point they had me judge their home improvement contest. And I did this for 10 years. The first contest was huge. There were over 13,000 entries. And this exposed me to so many different things that were going on all over the country at one point in time. Better Homes and Gardens magazine featured many of my remodeling projects in photographic form, and eventually they asked me to start writing articles on remodeling. And I did that, and I did articles for many of their sister publications like Home Plan Ideas and Kitchen and Bath Ideas. And on a lark, I wrote an article for the local newspaper. They loved it. They wanted to feature some of the personalities in town that I was doing work for, and eventually they asked me if I would consider doing a column. I thought, why not? Doesn't take much time, and it's something that I enjoy doing. And this was really amazing, the way that it blossomed. I syndicated it to many other newspapers, and therefore I travel to many, many cities and do remodeling projects, and then I write about those projects in those locations. I became syndicated with Universal Press, and then I was connected with eCountry Lifestyle and their Country Home magazine, which I am producing my column for this e-publication, and it's just working out great. I'm reaching more and more people every day. I've been in private practice for over 25 years, and I have made my specialty remodeling design. Standard architecture did not appeal to me because we're trained to do big buildings, and essentially, in my mind, it's a committee designing for a committee. When I started my practice, I did full architectural drawings. I did the specifications, I helped with contractor selection, I did site supervision, and carried the project from beginning to end. It seemed as if my client base was shifting to only the very wealthy, and it's understandable because that architectural process is lengthy, and average people couldn't afford it and didn't know that it was even available. And I really wanted to work for normal average houses and deal with the overall built environment that we see and not just the big fancy houses. So I modified the way I practiced architecture and modified my fee as well, because the standard architectural fee is 10 to 12% of the cost of construction, which doesn't make any incentive for the architect to hold the cost down. In consulting, I do conceptual design only, and I do it for a flat fee. This way homeowners know what they're going to pay going in, it's a finite meeting, and it is instant gratification. I do the design work right there on the spot in their homes with them. And cutting out all the extraneous architectural services works for the average person. What they want are the good ideas, but cohesive ideas that can be built easily and will save them money. Since I charge a flat fee, my big joy is saving them a lot of construction dollars. So I work very hard to make my plans so practical and so buildable that they actually get built. And that's very rewarding for me, and of course my clients like it as well. When it's time to remodel, most people don't have any idea where to turn. A logical way to go is to call a contractor. This is a good way to get a realistic idea of what things cost. That's what they do best. They are not trained in design. Going to an architect is sometimes tough because even if you have a friend that is an architect, he may be designing churches all the time. And residential remodeling is a clear specialty that the architect will be like a duck out of water doing residential. I say that a cardiologist could deliver my baby, but I'd rather have the OB/GYN. So it's good that I have focused on residential remodel. I know the scale, I know the way that it's built. Contractors want to please you. They want to give you what you ask for. Unfortunately, when they do, it may not be what you need. So I believe that a great deal of effective thinking needs to go in before the project is started. Before I come to a home, I ask the homeowners to make separate priority lists, and that is what they want to end up with. People get stuck when they try to design their own remodeling because they've got their own patterns and habits set up. They can't really see clearly. So if I can get them to write out their priority lists, then I can work with them in achieving their goals and the trade-offs that they may need to make in order to keep it real. Remodeling is very important that it is done, that it blends in with the existing and looks like it was always there. There's some finesse that has to go into that, and that is something that I bring to the table. If you're asking a contractor for more room, let's say a family room, likely he will give you a big hunk of space slammed on the back of your house. And maybe you'll have to go through a bedroom window to get to it. I say that fairly sarcastically, but they give you space, but the rest of the house is not reworked in order to make it all work. This is what I help you do, is reassign the spaces, find spaces that aren't used effectively and give them new life. And sometimes rearranging, just moving the whole kitchen to another spot is what solves the problem. I help people change their homes to reflect the changes in their lifestyle. I think everyone should be able to love their home because that's where memories are made. I produce a column every week, and it will appear brand new each week in Country Home Magazine in eCountry Lifestyle. Be sure and check it out. I think you'll enjoy it, and I'll be seeing you.